Hi, today I'm going to talk about the method of knitting menu selection here on the Design and Knit 8. There are several different knitting methods. The methods that are available to you are based on which machine you choose. But for my machine, I have Fair Isle, Intarsia, several different jacquards, and the two textures. What's really important to understand is how to tell Design and Knit which way to treat the needles for each of these methods. For example, for Fair Isle, Intarsia, and the jacquards, you're going to tell Design and Knit what needles to select or not select based on the color symbols. For right side facing textures and wrong side facing textures, the colors will not affect the pattern. The only thing that will affect the pattern are the smart stitch symbols. So let's take a look at that really quick. And I'm going to open a Fair Isle design so that you can see there are no stitch symbols here. And if I click on the view texture, you'll notice that it assumes that all of these stitches will be done in stockinette, just in different colors. Similarly, the Intarsia and the jacquards will be treated in the same way. However, if I open up a textured pattern such as this, the colors, blue and white, really do not have any bearing on what the machine will do. So if you need to have a pattern here, what you have to do is use the smart symbols here, which is these are tuck stitches. So in order to see what smart symbols you have available, that's where you need to look here at the salmon colored symbols. These will tell the Design and Knit to either select or deselect the needles. There are some other green symbols here which are primarily used for machine knitted lace using a lace carriage. The other symbols here are used for hand manipulation and don't do anything to Design and Knit or the automatic carriage. So if you want to do a tuck or a slip, you're going to need to use these smart symbols right here. Now you'll notice that we do have colors here. That's mainly just for our ease of understanding. And if you look at it in the view texture, then you'll see that most of the stitches are going to be stockinette except for the tuck stitches. Now, what's very important for the textured stitches is to look at the right side versus wrong side facing textures here. If we had it on wrong side facing texture, but if we chose the right side facing texture, then did the view texture, then you'll notice that these are actually purl stitches with a tuck stitch. If we change it back to the wrong side facing texture, you'll notice that we have the knit side with a tuck stitch. Now, frankly, we find the right side and wrong side facing textures quite confusing. So that's where, to make it easier, we just choose wrong side facing texture all the time. And then when we design our stitches, we design it such that you're looking at the wrong side. And if we design all of our stitches that way, as if we're viewing the wrong side as we knit, then even if we want to use the texture that's formed on the right side of the fabric, then we will still always know what it will look like. So we're going to pause for a moment here so that we can show you some photographs of these textures. Okay, we're back and we just wanted to show you each of the different knitting methods. Now here is the Fair Isle knitting method. Traditional Fair Isle uses a maximum of 2 colors per row. If you need more than 2 colors per row, then you really want to use Jacquard or a different method of knitting. But when you choose Fair Isle as your method of knitting in Design a Knit, it will validate that you only have a maximum of 2 colors per row. The next method of knitting that we have here is Intarsia. And Intarsia is a fairly manual method of knitting where you lay the yarn on the needles that you need in order to form the picture. So the carriage really isn't controlling which color is knitted, it only controls the tension of the knitting. So this is the wrong side that will face you as you knit. This is the right side. And what Design a Knit will do for you is help you understand where each of the colors of yarn need to go in order to form your pattern. But other than that, unless you're using the AG50 carriage, it won't do anything else automatic for you. Now here is the double bed jacquard, and it's called that because it's using both the main bed and the ribber to form the pattern. In a double bed jacquard, you can have more than 2 colors knit in the same row. However, you're only knitting it 1 color at a time. So that's why Design a Knit wants to know how many different colors you will have maximum per row. That doesn't necessarily mean maximum for the entire pattern, just maximum in a given row. So if you have 3 colors in a row at certain places in your pattern, you're going to want to choose 3. If you've got 5 colors in your pattern, but you still only have a maximum of 3 colors in an individual row, then you would still choose 3. And the nice thing about a double bed jacquard is you see that the back side or the wrong side is finished for you. Suspect that'll take a lot more yarn than a regular Fair Isle, but it's really nice having this finished back for certain projects. Now here's your traditional tuck stitch. This is the side that faces you as you knit, and this is the opposite side. Now we think it's a matter of taste whether you think this is the right side or this is the right side. But as we mentioned before, if you always tell Design a Knit that you want the wrong side, then you're designing based on this view here, which is perfectly fine. And it doesn't matter whether you want to see this on your right side or this on your right side. That's why, to make it less confusing for us, we just say that everything that's a texture is a wrong side texture. And here's a slip stitch. In this case, it's quite obvious that we like this side better, and this will be the public side or the right side of the fabric. However, when we knit with Design a Knit and when we design our pattern, we're going to design it as though this is the side that you're going to see, and we're going to call it the wrong side. Then when we want to wear it, we're going to wear it with this side here. And it really only depends, the only difference it makes is whether you're designing the triangle in this direction or in this direction, because you see that if it's on this side here, as you're wearing it, it actually shows on the opposite side. So if you were to knit this with a right side texture, you would get the mirror image of this pattern here. But there again, it's too confusing. We're going to design so that we get the pattern here, and that's the way the pattern shows on the screen. And if this is the result we get on the right side, cool with us. Okay, and here's lace. Again, this is the side as it faces you as you're knitting. This is what we're going to use as the public side. But when we knit this, we're going to tell Design a Knit that we want it to consider this a wrong side texture. So this has been a brief introduction on the method of knitting, and we hope that you take the time to practice with this so that you can better understand how this works. Hope you enjoyed it.